We're not about going to war. This is about continuing to protect our interests in the Middle East.
Lawmakers on Capitol Hill were briefed behind closed doors Tuesday about the escalation in tensions with Iran. Acting Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and intelligence officials were on hand to get lawmakers up to speed on recent threats in the region, as well as explain U.S. military posturing.
We do not want the situation to escalate. We have deterred attacks based on our reposturing of assets, deterred attacks against American forces.
Rhetoric between Tehran and Washington has escalated in recent weeks as the U.S. tightened sanctions with what it said was the goal of getting a better deal with Iran than President Obama signed in 2015, a deal which Trump pulled out of. The United States moved an aircraft carrier and forces to the Gulf region in response to intelligence that Iran may be plotting against U.S. interests, an assertion Iran denies. Republican lawmakers and cabinet officials tried to push back on the perception that this was a prelude to war.
It's a very good briefing.
Our recent actions over the last 2 weeks have been defensive
and designed to deter action on the part of Iran or their surrogates.
Democrats were not convinced.
Well, we still don't have a clear idea of what the administration's objectives are.
There was no effort to lay out a thoughtful interdepartmental strategy for how this is ultimately going to wind up in a better deal being signed by the Iranians than was signed by the Obama administration.
I worry very much that intentionally or unintentionally we can create a situation in which a war will take place.
According to a Reuters Ipsos poll released on Tuesday, 51% of all Americans believe that the U.S. will go to war with Iran, quote, within the next few years.
So with Iran, we'll see what happens.
The poll also found that only 39% of Americans approve of how Trump is dealing with Iran.